So, sound designing. Few things about what is sound designing, what is mixing. Every time I teach students, they ask me what is the right mix, what is the right sound designing. I keep on comparing that to cooking. Well, you can make, you have the ingredients. Okay, we'll talk about the ingredients. And you can do whatever you want with them, If you want it a little bit more spicy, it's just a good taste, And you cannot, well, it's like a painting. You can teach someone painting techniques, But you can't actually teach him how to paint, Everyone has his own mind, his own concept, And bring it to life, It's just like, it's a good collaboration between the director and the sound designer, all right? Bless you. And sound designing and music, for me, are the same thing. They always work together, all right? Especially in the last few years, if you see in movies all over the world, some of the sounds, the elements that have been used for music are sound elements. From the sound elements, we build the music, Mostly in series, In my opinion, series, the last decade of series are the new language of films. You know what I mean? If you look like series like Breaking Bad, or which was it? Fringe, or they use like elements, that it's like a whole new film language, Each chapter, each episode is like a whole feature film, and you can do so much with it, because you have like a wide episode, you don't have like an hour and a half or 2 hours that you have to be precise, to use all the elements, and you can do whatever you want, This episode can be one concept, and you can change concept through all the episodes and just manipulate, So, the first thing about sound designing is, I remember I'm repeating the interview now. It's just feel the movie. For me, the important thing while starting to do sound designing is to collaborate with the director and be sensitive to his needs. And that's why I prefer starting the sound design and the music scoring from the script, even before the pre-production starts, all right? Even though it's been called post-production, which means after the production, right? I rather do it while the script is like, well, I won't do it in any draft of the script, but like in the last draft, can start and put your input into it, into the script. And sometimes sound thinking, music thinking on the script can change the whole scene, can change the shooting, okay? And in mostly at Hollywood, that's how it happens, right? Some scenes are being changed by the input of the sound designer or the musician, both of them. I learned it from, I started my way as a musician and a sound designer for theater, okay? In which you don't have a live action, you don't have a screen, You don't have, you can't see the figures, just read the script. It's like reading a book, okay? Whilst you read in a book, you start to imagine things. One of the major projects I've been working on, it's a film called Andante. It's been mostly being played in Texas, in the United States, in South by Southwest, the big festival over there. And it took us 3 years of working, of sound design. It was eventually on Dolby Digital 5.1. And we've been mixing it only mixing for 6 months, almost 6 months, in which me and the director used to sit in the studio, starting to work, and then around 1 p.m., we get our mind so scrambled, we said to ourselves, all right, we need a break. We went to a coffee shop, to a cafeteria. We were sitting there like for 3 hours, and in that cafeteria, we did the sound design for the film, not in the studio, all right? Just thinking, brainstorming, you know, what we want here, how do we want to plan the scene, to build it, to which ingredients we want it to be, because it was pretty much science fiction film, but not a classic science fiction. It was more like a lo-fi science fiction. And we started to do that, and we were thinking, you know, eating and thinking, and what do we want here and there, and then came back after 3 hours to the studio, and in 1 hour we finished everything we were discussing about. And the outcome was incredible, you know. It had its own language. I won the Academy Award, the Film Academy Award for that one. And that's where I started to realize that the real sound designing, the real concept starts here, you know, not in the hands, you know. Eventually, what we do, the techniques that we use are the techniques, you know, but the thinking, the brainstorming, the collaboration with the directors are what bringing the most wanted outcome, okay? So, how do we start? How do we start to build the concept? First, we start with what I call the dynamic planning, okay? What is the dynamic? We have, on sound, we have, let's say, this dynamic, all right, which the bottom would be mute, silence, all right? And the top will be loud noise, the loudest noise that we can get. We can't pass this, all right? The audio engineers know it better. We can't pass this. Either it's a 0 dB if we are doing films, or is it +6 that we can go, or either it's -10 if we do it for television. It doesn't matter. We have this dynamic range which we can work on, all right? Now, while designing the sounds, not like the picture or something that is real, that you can see it, while planning sound, designing sound, we feel it, all right? We're dealing with things, spiritual things in the air, all right? It's all in the air. You can't touch it. You can't see it. You only feel it. That's where you have the space to do whatever manipulation you want to make your audience to play with their feelings in certain time and through the whole movie. So one example, the dynamic range that we use is a powerful tool to do that, all right? And it's all come from planning. I had this film, don't remember his name, fully feature film, which I found the two spots inside the film that should be the like a moments, you know, like a cinema moments, that these are the moments that the audience will take it back home with them, you know. So I thought to myself, how do I, you know, project these two spots, all right? So the audience will feel that. That's what the director wanted them to feel. That's what I want them to feel. How do I do that? These 2 points was One of them was an accident, all right? A car accident, which took place on the 15th minute, all right? It was 15 minutes, and then a car accident, all right, on the timeline. And then I think it was at the 70th minute, there was just a balloon was blowing, and then the hero of the movie started to realize that she had to change it to do something, all right? So I have these two moments, all right? One is the accident, second one is the balloon blowing, you know? So I thought to myself, how do I plan that so that these two moments will be the highlights of the film, you know? And we thought of, me and the director, we thought of what to put there, you know, what kind of a crash would it be, what are the sounds that will take place, you know? And the conclusion that I got into is that it all should work on the dynamics. Now, if I'll take the dynamic range and keep it like a straight line, all right? Keep a straight line, and then the accident will come, it will be just a little bit, all right? Just a little bit, you won't feel it really, you know, get scared of it. And then when it moves on, pretty much flat, pretty much the same thing, all right? So how do I do that? How do I take this one point and make it like a major thing, you know, not like just one thing, just a small, you know, all right, accident, car accident, that's cool, you know. And in cinema, we can do that. So I took the volume and the ingredients of the sound effects, the atmospheres, the Foleys, everything. I took it, and once the movie started, I started that when the peak were on the top. And I started to descend a little bit throughout all the first 15 minutes, you know? From point 0, you know, to 15 minutes, started to lower the level and the quantity of the sound elements. So all this time started to do a small descent. Now, once that is taking place in 15 minutes, the audience won't listen to the change, you know? They won't listen to the volume going down and down and down and down. Do you understand? Yeah. So you're like... So once it goes down, and then you give them the accident, you know, like a really, really good impact, it just scares them, you know, and they feel it and they won't forget it, you know. Just, I told them, everyone that's going to the film, don't bring your kids on, you know. They will piss in their pants. Don't do that. So I was sitting in the cinema at the first premiere of that movie, and once the accident came, I was like this, you know, looking at the audience, you know, they're smiling, waiting, and then once it, you know, it was the big boom, everybody were jumping off their chairs, everybody. Everybody was talked about it afterwards, and I said to myself, I did right, you know. And then, well, it's not only the volume, you know, it looks like the volume, you know, but it's all, the dynamic is built from, you know, all the ingredients, all the elements that combines it together, right? And which are the sound elements that you know about? Which are the sound elements that combines a fully soundtrack? We have the dialogue, right? So the dialogue is can be a sync sound dialogue, can be a voiceover, right? ADRs, or what they call it in Europe, post-syncs. It's the same thing. We have atmospheres, right? Which atmospheres can be interior room tones, such as this, you know? And it can be exterior ones. Yep. We have the sound effects, which is divided to special effects, right? Special effects, spot effects, Foleys. You're familiar with that terms? Or, yeah, more or less. Okay. So anyway, using all that, in the second stage of that, this, where there was a scene with the balloon blows, There was a dolly in. The camera went dolly in on a table, you know, a table where some people were dining. Hello? It's okay, no. Feel free. Please. So there were a few people who were dining, you know, just eating. And because of the accident, the main hero, the main character of the film, the whole film, she had questioning. She questioned herself. Well, the accident. Well, I have to tell you more or less the synopsis so you understand what's the film about. It's like a teenager girl that comes back from traveling, and her father takes her from the airport, and then he drives and he makes this terrible accident, which he kills a bike rider, and that's the accident. And afterwards, and he doesn't go to the police, and he just, you know, moves on. And his girl keep on blaming him. Why didn't you turn yourself in? You know. And at the 70th minute, what happens there is that this dolly in, this camera comes in the table, they're all dining, you know, like everything is okay. And then a balloon blows, and her sister with her little baby holds it, and the balloon blows, and that's where she understands that she has to do something to turn her father in or to convince him. And how do I make this moment with sound? How do I use the sound to make this moment a cinema moment, you know? A moment that the audience will remember. So we had that accident, right, in the 15th minute. And then it moves on the same flat line, you know, dynamic-wise, you know, dynamic range through the whole movie. Once that minute comes, I took 5 minutes back, did the same thing, but this time not using only the volume, but using the elements, all right? I took out some of the atmospheres, you know, the exterior atmospheres. I took out some follies, you know. In the music, I did, you know, what is like a pad, you know, like a pad, like a drone. That is, I filtered it. I started it from its own frequencies, and I filtered that, you know. Started to do it more and more darky, you know. For the audio engineers, I took the EQ, you know, and just high cutted it in automation, slowly, you know. Once it was, you know, and lowered the volume of it. Lowered the volume for 5 minutes, the volume and the elements, and then once the balloon blows, that's the second time the audience jump off their chairs, you know. And the balloon blows, and once the balloon blew up, all of a sudden I just, you know, when you're playing a video game, you know, and you have to kill a giant, you know, you use all weapons, you know, to kill it. All weapons, you know, laser guns, everything, you know, just to kill it. I don't mind, you know. So I put the balloon blowing, and right in the same attack, I put this baby cry, even though the baby didn't cry, you know. You say, it works, you know. I put the baby cry, I put a plate fall down on the kitchen, from the kitchen, you know. All in the same time, you know, and all that noise, you know, just waking her up, you know. I used all the elements in the full volume that I can, full level that I could do it, and you know, everything becomes really messy, just for 2 seconds, you know, just for one and a half or 2 seconds, and then went back down to the basic level. All right. Hi. And then go down to the basic level. And then the audience, you know, once they're inside the movie, you know, once it's happening, they're starting to shake, you know, and feel the same thing that the main character felt, you know. That's how I manipulated them, you know, to feel what the director wrote on the script, all right? Yeah, And after the films, the whole audience were talking about it. Oh, you know, it's such a powerful moment. You know, don't know how they did that. You know, of course, no one gives the credit to the sound department, but that's okay. We used to it, you know. But I knew that we did right, you know. I won't say I because I had a whole crew with me, you know, dialogue editors, effect editors, that I guided them through the what and how I do it, how I want to do it. And the director really appreciated it, and he told me eventually, well, it's all thanks to you. I said, all right, it's okay. I'm only the tool to, you know, pass what you want through.